Yo.
Take a look at them.
Well, how much did I lose?
Uh, to be honest with you, I don't even know. I want to say like 5 minutes because it's only been like 10. But looking at them, that seems like not the right time.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff.
They do, right? That's what I'm saying. I
I think we're live on TikTok.
um, so that's what I'm saying.
I think we're live on
Mm. TikTok.
yeah. It's your dog.
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
You get the waters? What do you want to?
I'm good for right now.
What do you want to?
I'm on TikTok. Yeah.
On Instagram.
You want to go live on Instagram?
We're on both.
Oh, oh, okay, yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I monitor one, we monitor the other.
yeah. I didn't see it. That's what I only thought you were doing TikTok. Look, it's still not.
Instagram?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, there it goes.
bro, don't start. Sesita. So quick.
I don't think he's tired because he like literally just woke up a little while ago, like 5-ish. No, I know he's been doing that for a little while though. Take his car out. Oh wait, hold up.
Mm.
Mom, where's that little jar of? Fancy, you want that? Huh? Let's finish this.
What's that?
I have to put the freaking glaze on before the hole.
Mm.
There we go.
Yo,
Mm, they're in my room. Got my bag that's behind the door in my room.
nobody on.
I got three people over here.
Is that TikTok?
Yeah.
Mm. So within
You.
they saying what's up?
No.
No. We have 2 more minutes and see if we get anybody on here. But nobody has even had. We're gonna keep on a little bit. That was crazy. All right, man.
Where?
I guess we could start. You wanna? But you, I'll do it over here.
Yeah, it was just too much over
I get it.
towards the table.
There. Well, you'll see it in a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna close that the thing back there. All right. So talking about today's topic was something that we bumped into. Well, not bumped into. The mass shooting that happened. Um, couple. What was it? Yesterday? The day before yesterday? Right. Mm. And that got me thinking a little bit, right? Because I ended up seeing this kid that was in the class. Video that I showed you, the kid that was or in one of the classes, or he was in the school, not necessarily the classes that got shot up, but I believe his mom was a teacher there also, and he was texting her and some craziness, which is got me thinking because this kid's 14 years old, right? Which is the same age as Aiden, and he was describing how traumatic It was, and not only that, but how traumatic it is to have to do these like shooting drills, or
Yeah.
I don't know what they're calling them,
Shoot, what they called?
like safety drill or something like that. Hmm.
Lockdown. They called
Lockdown.
it lockdown.
That's wild. Okay, so lockdown, and this has been going on even when you were in school, right? Because you
Yeah.
had like it started kind of like with the Columbine situation, and then maybe
Adults.
Sandy Hook, which we lived 20 minutes from,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And uh and so it started back then, and then it just got out of control,
Yeah.
right? Well, it's been out of control. I don't think people just these
Yeah.
reporters aren't reporting
Yeah.
everything,
Exactly. Exactly.
right? So so you have kids now that go to school and they have to practice lockdowns and just be in fear because they don't know.
Yeah. Lockdown procedures are actually pretty crazy. So you've never been in a lockdown situation,
No,
right?
no.
So a lockdown situation basically is, uh, the principal. This is how it was for us. The principal would go on the allowed system and say that the school's being on lockdown. All the kids go to the back of the class, and at my high school was different. My high school, everybody would go back in the class and hold their book bag. In other schools, they didn't do that. It would just go sit in the back of the class,
Okay.
and that's it.
Yeah.
But
No,
the
I'm
door
sure every
locked.
school had a different procedure.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever, because each school was designed differently, and maybe you got different nooks and crannies that you can hide in,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so they would probably use those type of situations because the
Yes,
schools are not built for no lockdowns. Which I've seen schools now putting up these situations where like it's like a closet, some craziness.
exactly.
Some just doesn't make any sense.
Gym class. That was our hiding room, the supply closet.
Right. Wow. Right. That's crazy. Great. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what these kids. Well, that's what I've seen a couple of these classrooms in TikTok and social media. But yeah, so these kids then they go to school, they get traumatized just by that because now they're thinking or they're sitting in class not knowing when the next shooter is coming. You know what I mean? Like you're there's no way you go to school. There's no way these young kids are going to school feeling safe. Parents are not feeling safe. There's no way, right? There's no way. And okay, cool. So, but we understand that that's a traumatic experience that they're gonna have to go through if their parents send them to school, as if they're not home. If they're homeschooled, then
Right.
they're probably not gonna be. Um, they're not gonna grow with this type of trauma, right? And so on, because it's more than just that. There's a lot more that goes into it, not just the trauma, um, but bullying, right?
Yeah.
And all other types of stuff that goes on in school that are just
Exactly.
that's just fucked up as
Even
well.
out, like even the dangers outside. Because at first, going to school, you're taught stranger danger. That's the first thing you're taught.
Right,
Stranger danger, and
right,
then goes into fire drills. You know, this whole once you're put out there to learn about all the dangers of this world, and now one of them has to be guns in schools.
right, right. And a lot of them are made up too, because like for example, the stranger danger situation. Yeah, kids are being kidnapped and stuff like that, but not at the rate that kids are getting
Right,
shot in
right,
school.
right, right.
And so then it gets into politics, and that's another world. That I don't want to talk about that now, but because that's not what I want to talk about, or that's not the topic for today.
Yeah.
Um, So get into it though. Right, you have these kids that are growing up with these situations, and then you got the kids that are now being homeschooled, right?
Mm.
The number looks like it went up almost a double and a little more of kids being homeschooled, right? Um, and so you're gonna have a generation of people that most of them are traumatized by this situation, and then a part of them that don't know anything about that, right? So what happens when those two meet up in the real world? Do they understand each other? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a kid who's grown up in this tough world, right, of having to go to school, which I which
Sure.
to me um it's no different than growing up in the hood where you know what I mean? I got to be looking out for the cops.
Yeah.
I'm always, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so these kids, they have that same,
Same.
they're walking into that school. That's a war zone,
Yeah.
and that's must be tough. Has to be tough because I couldn't even imagine. I
Yeah.
know what I went through in school. It wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't nothing like that. I would be a little bit scared somebody um or getting jumped,
Yeah.
or maybe the worst getting cut. But somebody coming
Nah,
shooting up the school.
I was thinking about it too a little bit earlier because we were talking about this topic,
Right.
or you showed me that video, and after thinking about it, it was like going to school for me after, because we were in school during Sandy Hook, right?
Right.
So that happened, and at the time I was too young to even understand what was going on, to even process
Right.
that entirely. But what I did take from that was my safety. So I at a when was Sandy Hook? I was what, like 10, 11, around there,
Hmm.
right? So all I could think about was, okay, if this is a thing that I have to look out for now, what's my best solution? That was the only thought that was in my head, my survival.
Right.
How could I survive the situation?
Hmm.
Like that's at 10 years old, I had to uh put myself in survival mode.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Or something that could be handled
Yeah.
like easily. It's not a big deal. But again, we're, the country that we live in, how it was built, and the people that are still that have this mentality, and okay, I don't want to get into that, but my thing is, what happens to these kids, right, when they meet up in society somewhere, right? Because look, I was just doing a little study, right? We're just looking into shit. So, pre-pandemic, it was like 2.8% of the children, um, age, let me see, school age children, so up to 18, I guess, right? We're talking about 2.8 before the pandemic, and then after pandemic, it went up to almost 7%, right? So that's doubling a little bit more. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. So that's it's a lot. And then like the challenges students face in traditional schools, right, versus homeschool. Traditional school students exposure to violence, straight up, because you got physical, psychological risk of exposure to violence, right? School shootings, bullying, harassment, um, and it can lead to fear and anxiety, right? Trauma, fear, and anxiety. And this can hinder students, their focus, their sense of security. You're not in school learning. You're not free to learn. You're not. Um, on top of the difficulty of school itself, right? Not only are there's kids that have all type of ADHD, autism, and undiagnosed, right? And they got to deal with just being in school. On top of that, they're fearing for their lives. That's today's school.
Exactly.
That's what's going
Exactly.
on. The mental health, right? Continuous exposure to the threat of violence contributes to long-term mental health issues such as PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Students may become disengaged from school, have difficulties building relationships, and suffer academic decline. Academic decline, and then so a lot of the parents, right? These older Gen X, right? Even millennials, at some to a certain extent, also mentality is of oh uh stop being so soft, right? And so now the kid is dealing with all of this craziness that's going on. These parents don't understand none of this because they didn't go through it, right? And it's just like Oh, stop being so soft, right? And the kid is gonna go crazy.
Facts. Facts.
He's gonna go nuts because nobody's understanding him. Nobody wants to hear him, right? Obviously, and then the decline in academics. Now you don't even graduate high school because of a mental health issue because nobody wants to listen, right? And who knows where it could take it from there? Drug use to cope, and the whole decline,
Right.
the whole decline. You have decrease in academic performance, right? Cognitive abilities, decrease in attention span. So all of these kids that are in schools today, they're not learning shit. They're not learning. They're just scared.
Yeah.
And then so these kids are gonna grow to be grown-ups one day. What are we looking at? What of the future?
I mean, yeah, it could go.
I don't want to hear. I can't. There's no way somebody could sit and convince me that these kids are gonna grow up strong. That's not. That's bullshit. It's the opposite. They're gonna grow up and not necessarily weak, but hypervigilant, lacking trust, all types of stuff. And then what? And then what? Because we the United States is doing this, and then we're gonna have to deal with this later on. What
That's
if
why I say it's feeding the cycle. It's feeding.
it's yeah, but I don't think this part of it was intended. I
Right.
think this is just a fallout, a residual effect of
Yeah.
capitalism at the end of the day, because they
Right.
don't want to stop selling
Right.
guns
Right.
and blame everything else, right? So it's a difficult. I mean, it's worrisome at this point. It's getting worrisome. I know Aiden, he's 14, he's homeschooled. And people are like, oh, but his social skills and this and that. Listen, school is not the only social place in the world, right? And besides that, you don't even get to socialize in school.
Right.
It's sit down, shut up, and listen to what I gotta say. And don't answer no question. Don't ask no questions because we don't got the answers for you, right? So that's the reality of school. What is it that they get 35 minutes to sit down to sit at lunch and not be able to talk because even in lunch they tell you to shut up,
That's a.
right? Even when you're at gym, they're telling you you're being too loud, right? So there's no socializing in school. They don't teach you how to socialize. They don't teach you shit about that. So being understanding that and being aware of it, now I get to sit down with you and say, yo, listen, want to play a little baseball? You want to go play some some bowling? Take him out and show him things, right? So that maybe if he piques an interest in something, then we could get social in that world, right? Because how much of society do you need in your life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How social do you need to be? On Sundays, I go play softball.
Yeah.
I make sure that just to practice, I go to Wally World and practice my social skills there, which that's a big no. Like really, but yeah, it's scary because well, what's the other thing? What's the let me see. Look, homeschool students safety and emotional well being because you get to talk about that at home.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Uh, homeschool has as homeschool has a lot of benefits. Homeschool.
Well, especially today.
Bro, now me being a mom and learning about what I had to teach my son as he grows, it said that from the age of 0 to 6, they're learning emotional intelligence. They're learning social skills. They're learning how to function as a person from the age 0 to 6.
Right.
So from the age 0 to 6, I don't remember school ever teaching me anything,
And at home either.
and at home,
Home
you
either.
know what I'm saying? So now that I have that knowledge at home,
Yeah.
his home life, his social life is gonna be 10 times better than, or maybe 5 times better than what I had growing up. You know what I mean?
No, it'll be better for sure.
100%.
Because there's some attention being paid to that
100%.
area. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, very important. Right. And so right, homeschooling lends to that, right? And yeah, man,
Not only that, but s- time spent at home with the family.
oh yeah,
You,
yeah. Imagine that, right? 40 hours a week, minimum, because it's not really 40 hours a week. There's 40 hours plus travel back
right,
and forth,
right,
right? Making it probably more than 50 at that
right,
point. Um, depending, right? If you work far, but yeah, it's not cool, and then it's not even that because what do? You get home at around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, the latest if you work a 9 to 5. To clean, go to bed.
right. If that, if you get to clean, because sometimes people get cleaning days on the weekend and they're for weekend.
All I'm saying is cleaning the dishes,
Yeah,
cooking.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it. Cook,
yeah.
cook, clean the dishes, and then go.
Yeah,
The kids go take a
exactly.
bath and go to bed because they
Exactly.
gotta get up early. So you
Exactly.
don't. What do you get to spend?
Nothing. Maybe like two, three,
No, an hour and a
an hour
half,
and a half.
maybe.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Homeschool. That's a different
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Right?
And
Yeah.
you know what's so crazy? We know people that
Mhm.
went through homeschool most of their life,
Right.
and we've never really asked them. Like we never. Well, I've never, or Aaron's never, because they were on Aaron's baseball team. So I don't know how their dynamic is because they've been through it all their life at this point.
Yeah.
So that would be a dope experience to look into or to talk about.
Just listen to them.
Right.
Yeah. To listen to their.
Especially coming from that social point of view, or even the gun violence point of view. They didn't have to grow up with lockdown drills. They didn't have to grow up with uh, uh that worry, that fear of gun violence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah. No, it's not just the gun violence. Yeah, gun violence is in there, but it's everything that goes along with it as well. The bullying and all that other stuff, where there's no control of that in school.
Yeah,
There's no control. You can, even if even if the teachers are hyper vigilant about that, and then the school is no nonsense about that. That's cool, but it's not the same as it not being there at all. Because homeschooling, that's not gonna be there. So that's dope from that point of view. Also, look, mental health benefits. Without the stress of potential violence, homeschooling students may enjoy better mental health outcomes. They often receive personalized attention from parents, tutors, which can address emotional needs more directly and foster a sense of security. Bro, that's a stark difference from the opposite. The stark difference. Like, just that alone, I'm buying it, right? You have now here, this is important too, right? Because you have academic flexibility, right? Because some kids have ADHD or and divergence or whatever the case is, right? And now now they get to do it when they're ready,
right.
when they're able to
Safe
soak in
space.
as much as possible, not have to get up. Some kids are not getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning and getting any information. It's not gonna work. Not everybody learns. Everybody has their own little.
Yeah,
So that's dope too. That's you get while homeschooling offers safety, it can limit. Well, yeah, homeschool students often benefit from customized curricula that cater to their individual strengths, learning spaces, learning paces, and interest.
right.
It's almost like a la carte uh, custom a custom schedule,
Yeah, yeah,
a,
yep.
a a custom curricula,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's Yeah, it says it right there. Self-directed learning compared to students in traditional schools where security concern may disrupt learning processes, right? Um, it's just yeah, it's just a big difference. Um, Again, the socialization challenges, which to me, uh, social skills. We'll do what we gotta do. We'll hang out, you know.
There's so I know that a lot of uh like Home Depot, Lowe's, the hardware stores have activities for kids that are homeschooled. Museums have activities for kids that are
There you
homeschooled.
go. Right.
I've been looking into this because for the baby,
Mhm.
right now I can take him to museums where he can gain knowledge, gain motor skills, gain social activities, and just
Stimulate. Yeah.
just be a kid, just
Yeah.
be a baby,
Yeah.
happy regular person. So that's dope.
Yeah.
Um, looking up into all of that those activities that we didn't even know existed. You know what I mean?
No.
But yeah, so that's pretty dope that I get to now experience this new form of learning.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge, not gonna lie. It's a challenge because uh sometimes you're so stuck in your mindset of this is how things are supposed to be done where you have to then correct yourself. You have to nudge yourself into the other direction of this kid he's doing something new that you didn't experience. So it's news to you too.
I get it. Also keep in mind that don't limit your options. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It's really not about it's not about tradition and it's you know what I mean? Like regular schooling just doesn't work. It just
No,
doesn't work. Um, what happens is that society itself doesn't really understand nothing. It blames everything else, and um, they don't really, they don't. Well, you're right to a certain extent because they don't dare jump out the window and take risks, right? Risk, and then it's not a risk.
right.
This is clearly not a risk. The risk is taking your son to school,
Right. Right.
you know. And so, yeah, it's interesting from that perspective because yeah, the pros and cons out the
The pros
pros
outweigh the
outweigh the
cons
cons big
100%.
time, big time. It's not even close. Um, I could, if somebody wanted to question if somebody wanted to question the type of education, like, oh, is he gonna get a good education? What are we really talking about?
Yeah.
What are we really
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Are you asking if they're gonna be good enough to start working at your place right away?
Exactly.
Nah, that's not what we're teaching. At least I'm not teaching that. I'm teaching that once he's finished his high school, whatever the case it is, if he wants to finish, because I don't even give a shit about that either. But here's the deal: that man at 18 is standing on something,
Right. Right. Right.
and he can make moves,
Right.
and he already learned how to do a couple things. So now he's doing his streaming thing and this and that and right, doing the thing that he likes and making a living,
Right.
right? Then you got the oh, they still in the house all day, bro.
Yeah.
What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
What do you want him to do? How much socializing do you want a person to do? Because once you go to work, you have your socialize does it goes down the drain.
Right.
So what are we talking about? Stop fear mongering. Stop. It's just the projection of they fear they don't know bro. Life is dope.
Ah, yeah.
Life is dope.
Yeah, and it's so sad. If you really think about it, it's so sad to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna put my kid." knowing that there's another option, you're gonna put your kid in an institution to just sit there and not experience and learn about the world in a one room. How you was supposed to learn about the world in a room?
Right.
You don't learn about it. You don't learn about anything sitting in one room. You know what I mean? You don't learn about nothing. How is that logical?
How many states have you been to in the United States?
Huh. Just the East Coast.
But 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 everywhere up and down the East Coast,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
You got to see other stuff other than New York.
Nah, the, ex- the thing that I talk about the most, 'cause, well, the only thing that I can talk about is living in Puerto Rico. That to me was the craziest experience that I've ever lived,
Hmm.
and one of the best,
Right,
and one of the best.
right,
I would do that for my kid 10 times,
right,
10 times over,
right.
10 times over in anywhere, not just the United States. I can't do just the United
Yeah, no, no,
States.
whatever, right? It's you learn well the experience of learning and what you saw and like um that's life right there.
Yeah,
Experiencing
yeah,
other cultures,
exactly,
right? Learning about yourself, really, because
exactly.
that particular one was a the roots.
Exactly.
You got in touch with your roots there. Um, watch your look. Yeah. So imagine going and seeing other things, pyramids, this, that, whatever, right? You need time and money to do those things. That's it. That's it. And if you own your own time, and you know your worth, you could sell it. You could sell some of that time and get some time back,
That's a crazy statement right there.
right? You can. That's the truth, right? You sell some time and get some time back, because if you know your worth, make sure you get what you're worth, right? And then make your move. Um, and you can't achieve none of that with going to a traditional school and all of that, right? But ultimately, man, what I really worry about is what I worry about, but starting to think about what does a future look like? What does it look like? You're gonna have people with different mentalities because of their paths in life, and especially with the school thing
Right.
that most of these kids are in right now. In 10 years from now, what are we looking like?
It's very hard to say, but I can only guess based off of what I've seen. I've seen some I've seen some positive things. That homeschool thing looks like a
But
step in the right direction. There's
fine,
a
but
lot of peace.
let me give you a scenario. Because of the majority of kids that go into school now, right? Because there's only like 8% of people, and I'm exaggerating the number. 8% of students don't go to school or are homeschooled, and then 92% are they go to regular school, right? You're gonna have a the large number of those of that generation with with that with that trauma, and the smaller part without it. Do they become the weirdos? Because remember, their behavior is gonna be different. Do they get bullied in life because oh you're soft?
That's- that's-
Something, yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, it's like that now. To be
But
honest with
but
you.
but okay, fine. But now this what I'm saying is now there's a larger community of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kids, and it's a pandemic thing, and it's a big fear now. Like these school shootings that happen almost every week. Like these kids are not just afraid of they're expecting, right? So what of them when they grow older with all of that trauma? What do they do to other people that didn't go through that trauma? How do those people mesh in society? Do they even mesh? Do they even get to meet each other? Because we're talking about the future. We're talking about 10, 15 years from now, where probably homeschooling becomes a bigger deal. Also, a lot of people working from home.
So I'm looking at it from the parent point of view, right?
Mhm.
Because the kid is like
Right,
they're gonna go through life, right? But the parent has already been through life, right?
right,
So the parent already has these traumas, more or less.
right.
Um, so what I'm noticing on the internet is more parents are understanding emotional intelligence. More parents are incorporating that into their kids' learning abilities.
See that?
And like there's some kids, some moms on TikTok that have their kids in school and through bullying situations will teach their kid the emotional intelligence that they need to uh
Yeah,
process
no, no,
the
I see what you're saying. That
situation.
that today, um,
Today, although we have that situation going on,
there's
there's
also
also
attention being paid to.
to
There's a
exactly,
bigger awareness of mental health.
exactly.
You know, you're right. Yes, I understand that. For sure, it has become a bigger issue for people, right? That's not a big percentage though, right? Because your education level matters. Okay, so that's that. I don't want to call people dumb and I like this, but you know, United States education system doesn't really teach that stuff. Now that we're paying attention to that, we're doing that at home. Okay, cool. That's a good thing. Um, that's what that is. Yes, it's being paid attention to, but also, you know,
It's still
still a small
the balance
yeah,
is
the
it's not
most
there.
people are not there.
Yeah,
Most of, you
yeah.
know, and well, also let's take into consideration the internet.
That's very true. TikTok is very helpful.
And
TikTok is,
let's maybe hope that if the parents aren't teaching it at home, that the kids are at least picking it up from the internet
and you know what?
or from their peers, and maybe even from their peers.
It's called out though
Right,
now.
right now, I know, right?
You know what
That's
I'm
why I
saying?
bring it up because I do see it.
Right,
I
right.
do
With
see
these
it.
artists, especially with artists, it's being called out with these artists.
Right. Okay.
It's being
Yeah.
called
A
out.
lot of artists are bringing awareness to it.
Not only that, but the ones that are in the wrong are being called out, are being
Oh,
looked at.
right.
Uh, they're
The
being
the
examined.
little
You
ones
know
are
what I
being
mean?
called, canceled, canceled.
Exactly,
They're
exactly. Like
being
cancel
canceled.
culture is a thing.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure. Yeah, people are
So,
being held accountable out there.
exactly.
Okay, yeah. You know what's funny that you mentioned that because the kid that shot up the school, his dad is now being held accountable for giving him the gun. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's a big, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like I don't feel sorry for the dad.
No,
Like,
you brought that into your house. You
bro,
probably showed him this.
yeah, and I don't gun culture. That's which is a total different topic. But gun culture is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That I don't know if I want to call it gun culture or European American culture, where these people,
Continue.
and all the history is just
Yeah.
killing and killing and
Violence.
killing,
Yeah.
violence and violence, and there
Yeah.
hasn't and there's no
Evolution.
evidence that is
Oh
going
yeah.
away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only thing that these people care about is running around
Domination.
with gun. Well, yes, ultimately yes, but guns give them that strength or that power, right? Because you can sit here and be like, oh, we are we are protecting ourselves against the government.
Why would you protect yourself against the government?
Well, because
No, it's
the history or whatever. Okay,
I get it.
cool,
I
we
get it.
get it, right? And how this country was built, right?
Right. Exactly.
They know what's
Exactly.
up, right? But they're okay with it and complicit as long as they get a piece,
Exactly. Exactly.
right? So let me hold a gun in my house until they get out of line. But that's a mentality. That's a way of thinking. But let's get real, bro. You- What you gonna do when the drone come over your house and blow your shit up? You think with your little AR-15 you're gonna shoot a drone out of the sky? Nah, nah, that's not gonna happen. You know, we're not. This is not the time of muskets where people are running around with muskets and meeting each other in the field
Right.
and having at it with it. You know, no,
Yeah.
it's not that time anymore. So don't spare me with that bullshit.
Right.
You're lying. You just fear, and their fear is like eight-legged. It's not just the government. They also fear the uprising of the oppressed, right? Because they are complicit in that shit too. Their fear, also they fear like being replaced, the replacement theory, right? Where the numbers are going down, right? They're no longer the majority. In a few years from now, we're talking less than 5 years, they no longer will be the majority. That scares the shit out of them, right? So, it's crazy because it does get a little, it gets deep.
Yeah, this topic has like several different branches.
Yeah, it's
Several
it's
different
it's
branches.
and it's real.
Uh,
The problem is real, and it's something to think about.
it's bro, it's what that kid said. It's a situation where it's real, but you don't know how real it is until you go through it.
Man, the video that I seen of the kid
That,
explaining
bro,
what happened in his school, that got real for me real fast.
for real, real
Cause,
fast.
cause he was there, explaining something really horrible, and he wasn't even close. He wasn't even near what was happening. Right? Imagine
The kid,
up in there, you know. Um,
I feel so sorry for the kids that had to go through that, man.
nah, shit is wild. It's insane. It's not fair. It's not okay.
Their,
They're
their
kids.
loved ones, their kids.
Some
So
bullshit.
sorry. So sorry.
Yeah, because motherfuckers want to run around and feel safe.
How safe y'all feel?
Yeah, kid going to school every day. Nah, nah, you can't do it. And then it's tough, man, because these same people, you tell them, yo, bro, homeschool your kid. No, nah, like, you're stupid. That's a stupid thing. And yeah, and really, at the end of the day, a lot of them just use the school as a damn babysitter.
There's exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
don't even give a shit what the school is
Exactly.
teaching them. They don't know. They're not in
They're
tune
not
with
paying
none of that.
attention. They're not paying attention. They're not paying attention. No.
You know,
That's- It falls down to the parent. It just falls down to the parent. It's like
education level.
exactly, exactly. No education.
And school don't have nothing to do with education. At the end of the day, education is
The
the
knowledge
shit
that you
that you
seek.
learn. The knowledge, right?
The knowledge that you seek.
Mm-hmm. It's it's good stuff though, man.
Yeah.
It's good to
Finally
well,
talk about it. Because before you couldn't speak about it,
well,
forget it.
nah, yeah, not it's gotten to a place where it's just ridiculous. It's getting to a place. It's at a place where you can't hide it anymore. You can't sit around and make believe that it's not happening. And this is
Mhm.
what they've done,
Right.
right? To make money, capitalism, right? Let the kids die. It doesn't matter. And the mentality. Not only that, not it's not only let the kids die. Let's keep these people dumb, so they don't really understand why the kids are dying, and then they make stupid statements like, "Uh, guns don't kill people. People kill people." What? Like, come on, man. Like, are you that stupid? Are you that stupid? Or are you just, are you trying to, you think I'm stupid? Nah, man.
Nah, bro, that's
We don't
crazy.
need
That's crazy.
none of this shit. Like, bro, you really love that? Just play a video game. Get on a video game and shoot up whatever the hell you want. Nobody's gonna die. You'll
Uh,
probably feel better too. You'll feel more heroic. You know,
yeah,
the thing is
yeah,
rumbling in your
yep.
hands, and
Now,
it's like,
bro, now you got the whole virtual
yeah,
reality shit.
throwing your
You know, you
virtual,
could
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
do
that's what
things.
floats your boat. Facts, because
Even that is crazy to me. Like,
it is.
I
It's
understand, I get it, totally get it.
the thrill of killing
But
somebody.
no, 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 the video games, the enjoyment of the video games,
Well,
get it.
the thing is
Playing
that
those video games,
look, it all depends, right? The mentality of the person.
yeah,
Because what are they thinking about? I think about my XP. I want to get my XP to
yeah,
up high. I don't get a joy of killing another person because it wouldn't matter to me. It could be, it's like a Call of Duty shooting up, or we could play some Mario, or we step on some shells. It's not necessarily that I'm getting a thrill about somebody dying, but there's people that,
yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And that's the iffy part. That's the fucked up part. But that shit is what it is, man. I don't like. I really don't know. I don't know. It's something that I will start to speak to Aiden about,
yeah.
right? I think it's time for that, and I gotta take it slow also because he's only 14. He's really his brain is not developed in a way that he's gonna be understanding these things. Nah, he's not. He's got to go through some things first. Got to experience a little more. So I just have to make sure that I give the information that I give to him has to be bite sized, something that he can chew on, rather than give him a whole piece of. Well, no, it's just like a whole bunch of information that he's just not gonna do nothing with,
Yeah.
right? And then I think I did something and really not nothing help. You know what I mean? So I'll be careful with him from that perspective. Um, as I go, I learn a little bit more of how to have these conversations with you guys. You guys at a level, you're adults. I don't think.
My question would be for you as a parent now. Uh, how how would that conversation go with the baby? Like, I don't.
What do you mean? What conversation?
Not that I don't want to force it to anything, but I also don't want to. I want to keep him safe. Saying so when that schooling does come up, because he watches TV and TV shows school and all this other stuff. So a kid might he might get excited for school at some point, and then I tell him, "Oh, we're gonna do school at home." You know,
He's not gonna understand
how
at
do
that age.
exactly like
He's
I
not gonna
don't
understand.
know
No, no, no,
how do
no.
I
I don't
do
think
I
that's
let
some.
him choose?
No,
Do
no,
I
absolutely not. No, Natalie, listen. I, I understand what you're asking me.
hey, it's like do I let him be a free person?
No, no,
Like
no, no,
you know
no,
what
no,
I'm
no.
saying?
Hang
Like
on, hang on.
how much of a
No, no, no.
free
Hold on, hold on. Think of this way also, bro, because this is very important. This subject is touchy, but it's not even that deep for me. I look at it from this point of view because there's a lot of crazy people out here that say crazy shit, right? And I've heard motherfuckers say, "Oh, as 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 uh as long as a female could conceive, then she's ready," right? And we know that a girls that's maybe 10, anywhere from 10 to 12 years old, mentally is not ready for nothing. Like none of that. None of that. Right? We know that the a 12-year-old cannot consent
right.
to nothing because a 12-year-old doesn't have n- no skill, nothing. Like no, they're children still.
Yeah.
They're still children,
On I'm probably thinking of the wrong word, but go ahead,
but
continue.
they have nothing. They don't they have no idea what this entails. And so for a grown ass man to say that's just straight up abuse. right? It is what it is. But what I'm trying to get to is that um
At that age.
children have to be guided. They have to be guided. You can explain to them why we're doing it this way, right? So that they understand. We don't hide that this exists. Look, this is it, but we choosing to do this. The reason we choosing to do this is because of safety, because of this, because of this, right?
Yeah.
That's that.
Gotcha.
That's that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But what's gonna happen is maybe at 15, 16, maybe he could come to you and ask you a question. Yo, mom, yo, you think we could go to school now? I would like
That's different.
now, now you could sit down and have a conversation with him, you know, maybe get some, see what's going on out there, right? But other than that, nah, you can't. You're responsible for this person. You have to use your brain and your critical thinking skills to understand because you want him to fly. You want him to have the wings. But if you send him to school, he may have the wings on the t-shirt, right? And nah, well, we're gonna take a is that the chance that we're taking for what? Because of criticism of other people? No, because that kid doesn't know what school is and that he's gonna miss
Right.
that. Nah. He's just gonna have this experience. He's gonna understand that there's school also. Um, maybe you could take him to extracurricular classes where he could go to an art class, to a this, to like you just said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All those.
All of that stuff exists. So socializing, that's not gonna. It's not
Well,
like it's gonna go out the window. It's not.
it was.
It's just different. It's a different
Yeah, it's
lifestyle,
different. It's different.
man. And in my opinion, more enjoyable because you know what? You're gonna probably go. You go to the museum with him, and you're probably gonna learn something too.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what? You're gonna learn something.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be directly about a museum. It may be about other kids' behaviors. I don't know. I'm just
Oh yeah, there's.
looking for
Yeah.
for the pros of how you're gonna
Exactly.
do this, right?
Exactly.
The cons the cons for me is just that it's scary because I'm not a teacher.
Right.
I'm not this. I'm not that. And like, am I teaching the right thing? Am I missing anything? As long as you stay on top of it, and not only that, but as he starts to grow, you start to see the love of or what he's interested in, and you can start moving that way, right? It's a support. Oh, you like art?
Exactly.
All right, let's do some art. Oh, you like baseball? But whatever,
Yeah.
whatever the
Yeah.
case is, you could still pursue those things. It's not like that's out of the question.
Exactly. Yeah.
So really, what we're talking about is trimming the fat off of education that we don't need and getting right to. Because
Exactly.
how smart do you think your child is gonna be?
Right.
That if you send him to school, he's gonna be smarter than no.
Right.
He'll probably maybe he'll be able to do a little bit better math. Maybe he'll be able to read a little better, this, that. But what does
Mm-hmm.
other that matter if this guy doesn't have any comprehension skills of feelings and stuff like that? For what? Then he'll just be a person who's hurting people all over the place. Nobody's gonna want to fuck with him. He'll never have a job. You know what I mean? Then you
Yeah.
go down that rabbit hole. But just raise a good kid. He'll be all right. The finance situations, money, you get on your horse, start to make things happen, start to grow generational wealth, and that's it. It's not necessarily that you're gonna be a billionaire. Nah, it's not. That's not. You could do it. You just gotta turn yourself into a complete asshole who doesn't give a motherfucker about nobody. You could go that route and make a lot of money, or you could, like I said, know your worth, get a little bit of bread, and enjoy life. Enjoy life just means, and for me at least, get on a plane, go visit other
Exactly.
countries, learn shit, come
Do
back
things
home,
freely.
do
Do
things
things
freely.
freely
Yeah,
without worrying.
because things only cost money.
Exactly.
Like I said, you trade your time, you sell it, and you buy your freedom. Really, what you're doing. That's scary to people. That's scary, man. But I can't trade that shit for nothing. There's no way. There's no way. The only way I've been able to achieve the things that I want to do in life was to take my time back. You gotta monetize, you gotta, all of that shit because sometimes, at least for me, man, I all I wanted to do was um be free, and I did that. Luckily, I was able to get paid right away doing what I wanted to do. That was a blessing. That was dope. But it's just, evidence and testament that, bro, everything's gonna be all right. Just keep learning, keep educating yourself, um, and you'll be all right. What
Yeah.
else you want to do in life?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just have fun. You know what it is. At least you've experienced some
Yeah.
freedoms, right?
Yeah.
Some freedoms. And what I'm talking about is like, you lived in New York for a little bit, you lived in Connecticut, you got to experience that. You moved to Florida for a little bit. You went to school in Florida, right? You moved to Puerto Rico. You got to see that,
Yeah. Yeah. All dope experiences.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to continue. And I want
Did
to
did
continue.
did did did, did money uh have anything to do with the experiences that you had? It was nothing about money. It was about what you got to learn.
Yeah.
You did learn something about money, right?
Yeah.
And how necessary it is,
Exactly.
right? Pay rent,
Exactly.
pay this, pay that,
Exactly.
and that's it. And
Yeah.
then and the crazy thing is too, like, for example, money could be used to buy food, but if you live in a place like Puerto Rico, you could literally grow your own food, right? And what people like, a lot of people don't, because I don't know, this is just me thinking. People want to sit down and have a plate of rice, beans, and chicken, and rice, beans, and meat, right? Man, like, you don't have to eat that way to be healthy. You could literally go on a fruit, vegetable, water. Check yourself and see if you're missing any, you get a little high cholesterol. But you could literally do that. You could literally, with the stuff that you grow in your backyard, eat that and be healthy,
That's the lifestyle movement that I get into. Because that's so dope. That's so
right?
dope. I see a lot of people on TikTok that do that.
Right?
That do their own agriculture. And it's so, like, inspiring. It's so
It is,
inspiring.
and it's like almost like a breath of fresh air, right? To get up in the morning, maybe tend to your business, your fruits, whatever, right? Whatever. I don't know too much about that, but you could, you have something to do.
Yeah. And it gives you peace of mind. It's not something that
Bro,
that consumes your energy. It doesn't
man,
consume your energy. It gives you energy.
I feel like when I eat meat, especially like a pork, which I haven't eaten in months, but that shit slows me down. And then having steak and every
Yep.
day. Mm-mm.
You know how you feel right after that. You're not gonna feel good
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
At all. But yeah, this is me and Alan were having a conversation. Well, not a conversation about it, but he just asked me like why I didn't work out, or why I didn't do like the full blown intense workouts. And it's because of this interest that I have of agriculture and all this other stuff that I want to do natural remedies of. No, first of all, I don't think I need to go to the gym
Hmm.
like that. I don't think that a full workout is what my body actually needs. Um, I think it just needs maintenance.
Hmm.
So this is that. This is that for me. Detoxing with herbs
Get
and
it? Yeah.
vegetables and fruits and all that other shit. Um, and then you can incorporate that into the homeschooling. You can incorporate all of this into the homeschooling.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Physical activity and working out is a big deal. Your body needs that. because you got your blood pumping through your system, right? And your muscles and all of that needs maintenance also.
Right.
It needs a little maintenance. Um, I will say this also. Spiritually, it could be a thing. It is for me.
Working out.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, for me, it works this way. I mostly do running and riding bike, right? And I'm out there on my own. That's some me time right there. Right there, I get a lot of clarity. Um,
You can take deep breaths.
yeah, a ton of them. Literally a ton of them. Um, I fell off the bike the other day. My ribs are hurting. I can't take a deep. I haven't been able to take a deep breath. I haven't even been able to laugh. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's something that I would love to look into a little more, like yoga and stuff like that.
yeah.
I definitely
You
want
learn.
to. I don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about it.
And
I don't. Well, I know, that it helps you mentally or spiritually, right?
it's just so your body can't function if it's stiff.
Right.
So that's what yoga is. It's
Right.
to
Right.
stretch
Mm-hmm.
and also to meditate. It has
For sure.
meditation
Exactly.
in
Right.
it.
Right. Right.
Have you ever meditated?
Not by choice. So not
Not
consciously.
consciously,
Not
right?
consciously.
Right. I did it twice in my life consciously.
Right.
Twice.
Right.
The first time was in the school,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't do nothing but knock me the fuck out. Like I just fell asleep.
Hmm.
The second time, more consciously, I was able to gain clarity because
Hmm.
really, you're just sitting there talking to all those ADHD thoughts that you have in your brain. You let them flow.
Yeah.
You let
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
be them,
Yeah.
and you just, bro, that feeling of cloud nine. You get that feeling.
Yeah. This
That's
is
and it's so dope.
this is
It's
what
so
I'm talking about. For me, the bike ride.
yeah,
That's where I'm at.
yeah,
That's where I'm at.
yeah,
And now I was just talking to Aaron about this. I've always played sports, and the sports that I played has always been, running, sprinting, trying to get to one place to from one place to another the fastest I can. So anytime that I would get on a treadmill or go jogging or get out to run, I would run, sprint my ass, and then call it jogging. Now, I understand that some people could sprint for long distance, and these are people who train, right? I haven't trained. So what happened is that I went out there, was running, and I got tired right away. And I was like, man, this running shit just ain't for me, man. I'm not built for this shit. I could run short distances like baseball from home plate to first. It's hard as fuck, but that's the best I could do. What I did was I changed. Right. I went from a sprint to a light jog in my mind. What I
yeah.
thought is a light jog. Went into a light jog, and I knocked out a big portion of the workout. I was like, oh shit. So I started training with that mentality. And now um I'm I reached my goal of miles, how many miles, right? Without stopping, which is a big deal, which was a big deal to me. And
Right.
then now in this run, I'm no longer worried about if I'm running out of breath, if I'm this, if I'm that. Now I'm flowing. Now my body's just taking me. It's doing its thing. It's conditioned already to do this. I think it's 2 miles back and forth because I do back and forth.
Yeah.
Now I'm able to do that without thinking about it, and I get more time to myself, which is where I get to connect and do
Right.
what I do out there.
Yeah. That's
And
dope. It's dope.
it is dope. It's crazy because like this morning, um, it wasn't a very good morning, but I was able to process right away and then continue to start to work on positive stuff, you know? And so that was dope. I learned that when I'm working now, and that was purposeful, it's no longer just for,
Work.
yeah. So, it changes everything.
Yeah,
It change,
yeah,
that's why
no,
that's why I call it spiritual,
no,
because
yeah, and it
it's not something that I
is.
can explain. I can't tell you, oh, how do you get there? I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
I can tell you how I got there,
yeah,
but man, if I had that answer, I'd be a billionaire.
yeah. No, that's the whole approach to holistic healing in its entirety of just uh I enjoy that topic very much. Holistic healing.
Hmm.
I enjoy that very much. I'm not into the whole medicine or medication of doctors and all that other shit.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, so that excites me for you that
Yeah.
you're able to find
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that dopamine from that. You know what I'm saying? The
Well, I told you about that too. I heard, or I saw maybe on TikTok and social media, that ADHD brains give dopamine right when you wake up. So I'm taking advantage of that. So I'm getting up and going outside and doing my thing. But um, there's more to it than just right. There's more to it because now not only okay, maybe I'm taking advantage of that I get dopamine in the morning. Maybe so. I don't know. I really haven't really.
processed it.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at it because I don't care. It doesn't matter to me
Yeah,
at this point, which is a good thing because I get to just go out. I get to like literally get up and just go outside. I don't procrastinate. I
yeah,
don't nothing. I'm just out there knowing that this is gonna be fun. So, um, yeah, I take advantage of that morning. Boom, when I come back. Sometimes I come back and I get a little lazy, and it's really not lazy. It's not lazy. I just kick back a little bit.
yeah,
I kick back a little bit. I process maybe what I was thinking outside, put it in its place. Boom, and now you know.
yeah.
But for me to get another rush of dopamine, it'd be tough, man. It would be tough. I would definitely have to have something in front of me that I'm fucking with heavy.
Right.
Usually I'll come back, take a shower, and I'll sit down, and play some PlayStation for a little.
Mm,
I'll turn it on. I don't even like. I don't really get into it like that.
yeah,
I'll turn it on. I'll stay on for 20 minutes tops, and then move on to something next. And usually, yeah, either you come out or Aaron's
right,
around, and then now we're getting into something else.
right, right.
So yeah, and it's dope
Yep.
because
Marley.
it takes up you're being productive.
Right.
You're being oh yeah, you're being productive. So that that works for me.
No, yeah, fine.
That works for me. Keeps me out of trouble. 'Cause
Uh,
the more the busier I am,
yeah,
the less I'm up in people's faces doing some dumb shit.
facts.
But yeah, I think it's dope, man. It's, it's scary the situation. I know that it's tough to think about, but it's something to think about. Definitely some like where are we headed? Like
Uh,
what's going on?
It's yeah, yeah. It's important to think about that. It's important. It's so important. I'm noticing that now, especially with you coming up to me or coming up to all of us talking about politics and all that. I didn't start getting into I didn't know about politics until 2016 when Trump was becoming president,
Uh,
and then I was understanding some stuff
yeah,
about racism and politics and racism in politics and all
yeah,
this stuff. So that's when like started listening to everybody that was talking about politics. And now it's just like it's so crucial, it's so important. To my understanding, bro, like this is it's your life you're talking about. It's your well-being. It's everything.
yeah, yeah. It's the thing is like the only the only way you could get to that understanding is reading history books, right? Because remember the people that are born in the last, let's just say 50 years, The only visual or the only experience that they know of is what they've seen. What they've seen doesn't mean what they've seen is true, but whatever they saw in their lifetime, and they believe whatever, depending on your education level.
Right.
But if you pick up a couple books and you start to cross some T's, dot some I's, connect some dots,
Yeah. Mm.
connect some dots, and you start to understand why you're in the position that you're in.
Yeah. Yep.
If you even give a fuck about that,
Right.
right? Because there are people that are in a great position and they don't
And they
want to
don't give
hear
a
nothing.
shit.
They don't give a shit about nobody else.
Exactly.
They care about keeping their status the way that it
Exactly.
is. So let's just run over everybody and anybody who tells me that I shouldn't have this money, right? But yeah, it gets so much deeper than that. But yeah, you could read about that stuff.
Yeah.
That history's there. It is what it is. If you want to stay ignorant and say otherwise, my pleasure. But I just know that I'm not in those rooms. I'm not in those spaces. You don't catch me there. You're not gonna catch me in those spaces. But but yeah, I think yeah, we've been on for an hour and 20 now. Get off this bad boy and we'll be on Monday. What day you wanna get on?
Yeah, we could do Monday.
Right?
Yeah.
Did we do we did Sunday.
Did we? Or did we do
I think we
Saturday?
did last Sunday. I don't know. But whatever.
Alright.
We'll give you guys a heads up. We'll post something around 5 o'clock, see if we're going live. Um we don't have a schedule just yet, but we're working on all of that. But yeah,
Yeah. We
shout out
need
to
to know
y'all, man.
when the best. We should do that. We should put a poll for when the best time is
Let's
for.
do it, yeah.
I'll put up a poll.
Okay, cool.